Hi, my name is Jerry Johnson, and I want to tell you the story of Omnicom Cares. It all started back in late 2006, early 2007. It was 18 months after Hurricane Katrina in the city of New Orleans. And the idea was to see if we could put the North American Financial Leadership Conference there to help out the city. And in doing the scouting report, Dennis and Maeve took a tour of some of the hardest hit areas. And as they drove through City Park in downtown New Orleans, past vacant building after vacant building, past decimated playground after decimated playground, vacant areas, Maeve turned to Dennis and said, you know, we've got to do something. We've got to do something more than just have our conference here. Now, that something was getting several hundred people together in 100-degree heat to build a playground and refurbish a local middle school, all in a single day. That was July 9th, 2007. The day when Omnicom Cares was born. A little bit later, Omnicom Cares sort of manifested itself in Prague. There were hundreds of children living in a dilapidated state-run orphanage right outside the city center. And a handful of folks from the Omnicom family decided they were going to do something. It was actually 140 people who got together, showed up and volunteered their time to repair the orphanage grounds, paint the orphanage walls, clean rooms, and raise funds, all so that children who had no other place to live would have a brighter, safer, cleaner place to call home. And you know, it was funny. The Omnicom folks who were there kept coming back day after day, week after week, because they saw that what they were doing was making a real difference in the lives of the children in Prague. Then it was a little bit later, this time in Boston, in the United States, that Omnicom Cares teamed up with something called City Year, a volunteer organization, to rehabilitate 10 square blocks of some of the most disadvantaged parts of South Boston, all organized around something called the Old Colony Teen Center, which was really the only clean and decent and safe place for children and teens of the neighborhood to play. One of the leaders of the Teen Center wrote a note, and I'll read a part of it. It says, quote, "Omnicom and City Year have restored my faith in humanity. It's because of people like you that my vision of having a safe, clean place for our children to play, that vision is now becoming a reality. Something I never thought would happen." The next stop for Omnicom Cares, this idea, the spirit, was Shanghai. And there it took an interesting turn. You know, there's nothing more popular than sports. And there's no sport more popular than football, or as we call it here in the United States, soccer. And so a handful of folks from different Omnicom agencies decided to get together and do what they know how to do best, that is have fun and compete. But in this competition, the winners were the children. The children of Shanghai and that lived in the city center there received tens of thousands of dollars based on that one soccer tournament. Then it was back to the United States, this time in Yonkers, New York, and a disadvantaged neighborhood that housed a local high school. And a handful of folks who were part of the original exercise back in 2008 in New Orleans got together and decided to do the same thing, this time inside a school. And they scraped walls, and they taped and painted windows and doors, they scrubbed toilets, cleaned kitchens, built computer labs, installed interactive whiteboards. You know, they even after all of that, they decided they wanted to do a little bit more and decided to launch a book drive. And this simple book drive raised thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to help the children at the school even after the paint was dry and the walls were fresh, the floors were new. The kids, well, they kept smiling. Then it was off to Kuala Lumpur, where a handful of folks from different Omnicom agencies from around the region decided that they were going to help, in this case, what started to be a 24-hour drop-in and crisis center for children, which had become the only home for over 450 children in Kuala Lumpur. This time, the folks at Omnicom decided to do something very curious. They had an auction where a 10-pound note fetched over $100, where a simple T-shirt signed by children fetched $300, and someone paid $500 for a stuffed parrot, all to raise money for the Children's Center. And most recently, this thing that we found in a swamp ended up in a desert in Las Vegas helping the children at St. Jude Center, and one day rehabilitating their central play and work office. You know, people ask, what is Omnicom Cares? It's really about smiles. It's about making a child smile because they know there are people out there that care. It's about teachers and parents smiling because they know that children have a cleaner place to live and a brighter place to learn and a safer place to play. It's volunteers smiling because they know that what they're doing is making a difference and having a lasting impact. It's knowing that people care and acting on that knowledge. That's what Omnicom Cares is all about.